The hype around Borderlands 4 is wild, and with it right around the corner, I figured what better way to celebrate it than to rank all the main Borderlands games from worst to best. Now I know this is going to be a hot topic, trust me, it's going to get heated, but we're diving into what made each of these games stand out, what worked, and where they kind of missed the mark. Before we get started, be sure to like the video and also subscribe, it literally takes 1 second. With that said, let's get into it and see which Borderlands game truly reigns supreme. Alright, let's kick this off with the one that's a bit of a stepchild in the family, Borderlands the PreSequel. Now I'm not going to sit here and tell you the game is bad, no, but it's definitely not up to the level of the other titles. The game takes place on the moon of Pandora, Ellipse, which brings some cool mechanics like low gravity and the ability to butt slam enemies, but these gimmicks don't quite carry the experience as a whole. The game feels like an extra rather than a full-fledged entry in the series. One of the big things that stand out is the story. It's a prequel about the rise of Handsome Jack, who, let's face it, is arguably the best villain in the entire series. But here's the catch, by the time we reach this game, Jack is already a known quantity. We know where he ends up, and the whole plot about his rise to power feels more like a retelling than something that actually moves the series forward. The characters, while entertaining, don't feel as impactful as those from the other games. But what really makes the PreSequel feel like it's trailing behind is its lack of innovation. It didn't evolve the core gameplay much, and while it did offer new characters, cool moon-based mechanics, it felt more like a side story than a main event. Still, it's fun for what it's worth, and it definitely gave us some good moments, but it just didn't stand tall next to the other titles in the series. Now coming in at number 3 is Borderlands 3. Don't get it twisted, I love this game. It's big, it's loud, it's full of insane weapons, it has some great co-op fun, but it's not perfect. Let's break it down. First of all, the Calypso twins as villains. Not as memorable as Handsome Jack. Sure, they are charismatic and they bring some fun moments in the story, but compared to Jack's menacing and darkly humorous presence, the Calypsos just don't have the same gravitas. The whole thing about being streamer villains didn't really land for me. They felt more like internet trolls than true threats. Now what made Borderlands 3 really stand out was the sheer scale of it all. The environments were gorgeous and expansive with multiple planets to explore, the gunplay top-notch, customization was deeper than ever, allowing you to tailor your character's playstyle and guns in a way that felt like a true personal experience. And of course, the loot system was insane, with hundreds of guns that felt unique thanks to the new manufacturers. But where Borderlands 3 fell short was its pacing and story. It didn't have the same tightness or focus of Borderlands 2. The plot felt a bit disjointed at times, like it was more concerned with you getting to the next explosion or boss battle than really making you care about the journey and the story and all that. Sure, it was fun, but there wasn't as much emotional connection to the characters or the world compared to the previous entries. Now let's talk about Borderlands 1. This is the game that started it all, and in many ways it still holds up as a game changer. When this game first released back in 2009, it was revolutionary. The cel-shaded graphics, the loot-driven gameplay, and the randomized weapon, all were unheard of at the time, and it was the first game to do that in such a grand way, and really sets the stage for what will come next in the looter-shooter genre. Looking back at Borderlands 1 now, you can tell that the game has aged in such a big way. Combat feels clunky compared to later titles, and while the world of Pandora was unique, it was very limited in scope. The story was very bare bones as well. There was a lot of grinding, and while the humor was great, the characters were a little one-dimensional. That being said, Borderlands 1 was the foundation that made everything possible. Without this, there will be no Borderlands 2, there definitely will be no Borderlands 4. The lack of character depth and a solid narrative definitely put this low on the list, but you have to respect where it all started from. This game created the formula, even if it wasn't fully polished yet. And finally, let's talk about Borderlands 2, the game that perfected the formula and really solidified Borderlands as one of the best gaming franchises of all time. The second game improved on every single aspect of the first game. The graphics were more refined, the combats were tighter, and the world building was way deeper. But what really sets Borderlands 2 apart was Handsome Jack. He's one of the best villains ever in gaming, charismatic, hilarious, and just downright evil. His interactions with you were iconic, and the story, which revolves around his personal vendetta against you, was personal, engaging, constantly entertaining. The skill tree, amazing. The Vault Hunters, each one had their own story, and all of them felt fun to play. Let's not forget about the DLC, especially Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep, which wasn't just some side quest or just some DLCs, but one of the best DLC ever made for any game. If I had to pick one word to describe Borderlands 2, it would be masterpiece. It's not just the best of the series, it raised the bar for everything that came after. The humor, the gunplay, the characters, the world, it's all perfect. And while there's always room for improvement, Borderlands 2 still holds the crown as the best game in the series. So there you have it. Borderlands the pre-sequel was just there. Borderlands 3 had its ups and downs. Borderlands 1 definitely set the stage. But when it comes to pure greatness, Borderlands 2 is the undisputed king. What do you think? Do you agree with my ranking? Or are you ready to start a full-scale Borderlands revolution in the comment section? No, but seriously, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Let's have a conversation. And of course, if you're as hyped as I am for Borderlands 4, hit that like button, subscribe for more gaming videos like this, and smash that notification bell so you don't miss any of my world famous rank. I honestly can't wait to play Borderlands 4. Let me know if you're also anticipating. With all that said, catch you later. Take care of yourself. Peace.